Welcome back to the show, everybody. My name is Adelia Kirchner. I'm one of the writers for the Tennessee Conservative, and today I'm going to be filling in for the infamous Brandon Lewis. Today we're going to cover how Tennessee is spending $350 million on bolstering the Liberty Bowl and FedEx Forum in Memphis. We'll also be getting an update on plans for an industrial park in rural Wilson County, and we'll cover a recent ruling in the public records case concerning the Covenant school shooters' writings. Spoiler alert, the documents are still not going to be released to the public. But real quick, before we get started, be sure to subscribe to our free daily e-newsletter. Just text news to 423-205-5600. That's 423-205-5600. Also, you should be sure to download our brand new, very, very shiny 2024 Rhino Report and Freedom Caucus Awards. It just came out. Just go to TennesseeConservativeNews.com and type 2024 Rhino Report in the search bar. Links to download will be in the first article that comes up. Alright, first story of the day. Nashville judge rules Covenant school shooters' writings can't be released, claims victims' families have copyright. On July 4th, Tennessee Chancellor Aisha Miles finally filed her 60-page ruling on whether the Nashville Covenant school shooters' writings can be released to the public. This ruling comes after over a year of public demand for the release of documents collected by Metro Nashville Police during the initial investigation of the March 2023 Covenant school shooting. One of various petitioners in the lawsuit against Metro Nashville and Davidson County wrote that Miles was swayed in part by a novel argument brought by a group of Covenant school families who argued that the shooter's writings were protected by copyright laws. Back in June of 2023, the shooter's parents announced that they intended to transfer ownership of the shooter's writings to a group of Covenant families. Many have speculated that this was done to keep the documents private, because why else would they do that? Miles' decision validates this transfer of ownership and allows the families of the Covenant victims to assert a copyright interest in the documents. The Chancellor acknowledged that claiming copyright as an exception to the Tennessee Public Records Act was a novel argument, not ruled on by previous courts, but she ultimately agreed with the concept. Executive Director for the Tennessee Coalition for Open Government, Deborah Fisher, made a statement warning that Miles's ruling could have far-reaching implications that work against transparency and make it easier to hide evidence of crimes from the public. Alright. Story number 2 is Perot Company submitting appeal after industrial park denial following citizen tractor convoy protest. Perot Company has stated that it will continue to make plans for a massive industrial park in Wilson County, despite being denied permission by the Planning Commission as a result of last month's tractor convoy protest. Hillwood, a Texas-based development company with ties to the Perot family, is seeking to rezone around 1,400 acres of farmland in rural Wilson County for the purposes of creating 10.35 million square feet of industrial-style offices, warehouses, and light manufacturing spaces, as well as a retail mix in the northwest corner of the property off Interstate 40 near the Linwood Road exit, and a conservation easement of 265 acres. The current land use plan for the area Hillwood wants to develop is high-density residential. Back in June, nearly 40 tractors gathered at the James E. Ward Agricultural Fairgrounds in Lebanon, Tennessee, before making their way to the Wilson County Courthouse to attend the County Commission's planning meeting as part of a protest organized by No Industrial Park. Almost 500 signatures were secured on a petition opposing Hillwood's plans. As a result of this tractor protest, the Planning Commission denied the company's land use plan amendment by an 8-2 vote, and the rezoning was voted down unanimously. So technically a successful protest. Good on people for actually taking some action locally and showing up. Hillwood was given 10 days to appeal this decision in writing. However, the company does not plan to go before the commission until December 16th of this year, and has requested a lengthy wait time of 5 months before bringing its rezoning and land use plan amendments back for consideration. So heads up, it's not completely over and done with yet, for those of you who live in Wilson County. Alright, our next story is Brentwood's tractor supply. Oh, lots of tractors today, you guys. Brentwood's tractor supply ends DEI initiatives and Pride funding. Brentwood-based Tractor Supply announced it is eliminating all diversity, equity, and inclusion roles and goals, along with discontinuing sending data to the Human Rights Campaign in response to conservative complaints related to its policies. Former 5th Congressional District candidate Robbie Starbuck brought the complaints to light in a social media post on the topic. Starbuck said that Tractor Supply had a DEI council. It funded sex change operations, and it funded pride and drag events, climate change activism, and hosted LGBTQ+ events at the office. Starbuck wrote that Tractor Supply CEO Hal Lawton needs to understand that we don't want our hard-earned money spent on these woke priorities. If he supports this stuff, then he should spend some of his $11 million salary or tens of millions in stock on it instead of using the money we spend at Tractor Supply. In response, Tractor Supply said it was discontinuing the DEI efforts, is withdrawing its carbon emissions goals, and focus on both land and water conservation efforts, and it would further focus on rural America priorities, such as agricultural education, animal welfare, veterans' causes, and being a good neighbor. Oh, wow. Interesting. The company said it would also stop being involved in pride festivals and voting campaigns. In response, Starbuck wrote, "This monumental change is thanks to all of you who supported my work exposing this, to the whistleblowers in Tractor Supply, and my fellow farm owners who respectfully spoke up. This is a fantastic moment for the fight to banish wokeness, DEI, and ESG from the workplace." And then we have Tennessee's largest companies secure sales tax exemptions for everything from jet fuel to water. The typical Tennessean uses around 30,000 gallons of water per year, costing between $300 to $600 annually depending on where one lives. Everyone pays a local sales tax of at least 2% and a state rate of 7% on the water. But the tax bill on water for chicken barns, which in Tennessee are typically controlled by subcontractors for food giants like Tyson Foods, is zero. You know, that good old plastic freezer chicken. The GMO yumminess. The Tennessee Farm Bureau has spent $3.4 million lobbying lawmakers since 2009 through its 2 lobbying groups. Tyson Foods doesn't lobby or run a political action committee in Tennessee. Instead, the Farm Bureau lobbies for laws benefiting the company. Other sales tax exemptions have saved internet providers like AT&T, the state's second largest political spender since 2009, Comcast, and other internet service providers more than $204 million by removing fiber optic cables from the state's tax rolls, as the state and federal governments gave those same companies $650 million for new broadband investment in 2022. For decades, manufacturers like Bridgestone, Nissan, Volkswagen, and Eastman Chemical pay reduced rates, or often nothing at all, for gas, water, and equipment they purchase due to an industrial and machinery sales tax exemption, estimated to cost $647 million next year. Each company has spent at least $1 million to influence state politicians over the last 15 years. Brown-Forman, the owner of Jack Daniel's, received a property tax exemption from lawmakers in 2018 for its whiskey barrels, saving it almost $18 million since then. The company has spent $3 million to influence state lawmakers since 2009. But no company has likely benefited more from sales tax exemptions in Tennessee than FedEx. The company has saved $186 million on jet fuel taxes since 2016 after lawmakers capped its tax bill, gradually lowering the money it paid year after year from $32 million that year to $1 million today. Lawmakers also created specific exemptions to allow the company to avoid paying sales tax on construction materials for its multi-billion-dollar headquarters expansion, saving it an estimated $21.3 million. This year, state lawmakers allowed the company to reclassify its data center for a tax exemption, saving the company an additional approximately $3.3 million annually. Meanwhile, high sales taxes on basic household necessities like gas, water, and groceries mean the typical Tennessee family is paying more of their income in taxes than large corporations. Shocker, I know.
Anyway, we are almost able to rebuild our website. Thanks to your generosity, I talked to a gentleman named Cliff, you know who you are, the other day, because I do my phone calls when I can, going to get a biscuit, whatever. I'm behind right now because I'm like you. Like, I'm just a volunteer and a citizen. I don't get paid to do this. And we talked about politics and where our kids were going to grow up. And he sent us like $5,000 to rebuild a website. And embarrasses me, makes me feel uncomfortable. I mean, we need it. But it's just amazing to see people come out to help in this effort. Because we're the state's only conservative news alternative. And we do the best we can. We don't weigh much. We're not very big, but we punch above our weight. And so for all of you that have been supporting us trying to get this website redone, I appreciate you. We're also about to start investing money in growing our subscribers because we need to reach more Tennesseans. It amazes me how many people I talk to at the gas station and the Dollar General and the grocery store that don't know anything about what's going on in their state government. And it just drives me nuts because these are good conservatives and they think that the Republicans are doing them a favor, and they ain't doing nothing in that regard. I'm sorry to ramble here, guys. It's an impassioned evening. Go to TennesseeConservativeNews.com/support and hit that donate button or the subscribe button, or mail your text to P.O. Box 625, Signal Mountain, Tennessee 37377. All right, I got to get in here.
All right, fifth story of the day is Governor Lee backs Economic and Community Development Commissioner's big travel bill. Ooh. Governor Bill Lee is defending the spending by his administration's top economic recruiters on a trip to Australia in which a commissioner turned in an invoice for transportation despite taking a travel per diem. Economic and Community Development Commissioner Stuart McWhorter and Deputy Commissioner Alan Borden spent more than $32,450 on a 4-day trip to Sydney and Brisbane in early March, flying first class and staying in 5-star hotels with views of some of the country's most popular sites. Lee did not answer questions directly about McWhorter's expenses, but pointed out Monday that the state has recruited businesses that have invested $35 billion in Tennessee and created 200,000 jobs. In addition, McWhorter also turned in a $64 Uber bill. I think it was $64. Also turned in there's so many millions in these articles. It's I expected there to be a million or billion after that, and then I saw Uber. Okay, excuse me. In addition, McWhorter also turned in a $64 Uber bill to Nashville International Airport, even though he turned in mileage for local airport transportation. Lee and other state officials took a similar trip in November 2023 to France and Italy that wound up costing taxpayers $117,000. By the way, Governor Lee and Stuart McWhorter were named the top Tennessee Executive Branch rhinos in the Tennessee Conservatives 2024 Rhino Report and Freedom Caucus Awards, so you should go check that out. See who our big rhinos of the year are in the Senate and the House and the Executive Branch. Go look. It also points out the most conservative people in our Senate and House, so yeah, and our grassroots organizations, so you should check that out. Anyways, our next story is Tennessee spending $350 million to bolster Liberty Bowl and FedEx Forum in Memphis. Head over heels for big-time sports, the state of Tennessee is pouring hundreds of millions into sports stadium projects, including the Liberty Bowl and FedEx Forum stadiums in Memphis. Not only did the legislature provide $500 million in bonds for a $2.1 billion Dome Titan Stadium in Nashville, it approved $350 million for the city of Memphis, which is putting the money towards the renovation of the Simons Bank Liberty Bowl and the FedEx Forum. In addition, the General Assembly passed legislation this year allowing the Shelby Convention and Visitors Bureau to take a greater percentage of Shelby County's hotel-motel tax revenue to pay off FedEx Forum improvements. All right, y'all. This is our last story of the day. We have Hamilton County Commissioner will not be prosecuted for questionable reimbursements. The Tennessee District Attorneys General Conference will not seek criminal charges against Hamilton County Commissioner Warren Mackey after investigating at least $27,000 worth of questionable charges to Hamilton County. Elizabeth Dixon, a spokesperson for the conference, stated, "After a thorough review of the comptroller's investigative findings, as well as a consideration of the actions of the Hamilton County Commission on May 1st, 2024, General Dunavant declined criminal prosecution in this matter and asked the Comptroller's Division of Investigations to close their file. The Comptroller's investigation found that Mackey was reimbursed $15,500 for an office that did not have electricity. Mackey acknowledged that he has closed that office, but the Comptroller's office said he received reimbursement for June rent on the property. He also received $5,971 for restaurant charges, $1,349 for 48 storage totes, and $1,368 for cell phone accessories, along with other miscellaneous reimbursements. Hamilton County policy allows each commissioner a $15,000 discretionary budget that can be used to cover business expenses such as rent and utilities for office space, supplies, and travel. They are also given a salary of $27,202. In their final report, the comptroller placed blame on the Hamilton County Commission for not properly overseeing how that discretionary budget was used. They also noted that the county finance department did not have the necessary checks in place either. But yeah, y'all, that's all of our Big 7 stories of the day. If you want the full and complete rundown on all of these stories, or just one of them, whatever piqued your interest, head straight over to our website, TennesseeConservativeNews.com, or click the links in the description. If you like what we're doing and you want us to keep it up, please consider donating to support the cause. All you have to do is, again, go to TennesseeConservativeNews.com and hit that red support button. And then while you're on our website, you can also hit the green subscribe button to subscribe to our free weekday newsletter. And that way you get a nice little email every weekday that fills you in all the big news stories that we are sharing with you from a conservative news perspective. And don't forget to check out the Tennessee Conservative Podcast, what you're listening to right now, on your favorite streaming platform, and leave us a 5-star review. It helps us out so much. As always, your listenership is appreciated, your readership is appreciated, and we will be back next week with another Big 7.